I'm Becca. In Comics Cafe, Mrs. Kirby was about to start a story, and Bree was asking,
if God is good, and bad stuff keeps happening to me, then does God just not care about me, or?
Maybe you've wondered that too. When I feel hurt, alone, or afraid, how do I know God is still good? Esther probably asked those questions as well. In fact, the whole book of Esther in the Bible is about a time when God's people were in great danger. First, Esther and her family were forced to move out of their home into a place called Persia. During all this, her parents died, so she had to move in with her cousin Mordecai, who raised her. That had to be tough. But our story starts when the king of Persia, a guy named Xerxes, got mad at his queen, so he kicked her out and picked Esther to be his new queen. Hold on. He kind of forced Esther to be his queen. And he was the kind of king who might just kick you out if you looked at him the wrong way. That's actually not great. Esther was probably very afraid. Maybe you've felt like Esther probably did. Like everything is against you, like life is out of control. Maybe you've moved to a new place or had a fight with a friend or been made fun of. The thing is, nothing that happens to us changes God's goodness. The more we choose to trust God, the more we'll see how good He is. God isn't just watching us to see if our lives are good or bad. He's leading us somewhere. Sometimes life might feel dark, rocky, and tough. We might wonder, where is God? Why doesn't He send in a helicopter or something to get me out of here? Esther went through some difficult times too. One day, someone convinced the king to write a law letting people hurt and kill anyone who's from Judah, the country Esther was from. That's terrifying. And Esther was scared. She and all God's people prayed and prayed, but God didn't just take away their problem like that. You see, God could do that, but what if just taking our problems away is not the best thing for us? Check out the advice Esther's cousin Mordecai wrote to her. What if you don't say anything at this time? Then help for the Jews will come from another place. Who knows? It's possible that you became queen for a time just like this, where they could have just seen a tough and scary situation. Mordecai saw God's good plan happening right in front of their eyes. Esther invited the king to a feast. Then she invited him to another feast the next day. Maybe she was waiting for the right moment. Maybe she felt afraid. At the second dinner, though, Esther spoke up. She asked the king to change the law. Now, Esther knew if the king became angry, he could kick her out or make things even worse. But the king listened to her. He wrote another law to cancel out the first one. I think in Esther's story and all through the Bible, God is walking with us, asking us to follow His lead. And if we trust God to be our guide, trust that He is good and that He will lead us right, one day we will see what He was doing all along. Here's what I want you to remember today. God is good even when life is tough. He will never forget you and never leave you. And that means we can trust Him, whether we need to face our fears like Esther or have the courage to forgive, like Bree. So, how could you trust God this week? Life will be tough at times, but no matter what, you can trust that God is good.